Simvastatin belongs to a group of drugs called statins, which are often prescribed to reduce the level of cholesterol in the body. They decrease the patient's risk of developing heart disease, having a heart attack, or stroke. Simvastatin has annual sales of up to $5 billion in the USA. One semi-synthetic process commonly used to synthesize simvastatin is shown here. It begins with lovastatin, which is produced by a certain fungus. This reaction requires many steps, including protecting and deprotecting steps, as well as hazardous reagents, such as those shown in red here. The problems with this process are that it produces a yield less than 70%, uses hazardous and toxic reagents which are corrosive to the skin and eyes. It involves many steps which in turn makes it 5 times more expensive than lovastatin.
In the past, simvastatin was produced from another drug called lovastatin using complex synthetic reactions that produced a relatively low yield. So to fix this, modifications were made to the fungus Aspergillus terraris, which was used to produce lovastatin, to allow it to produce simvastatin directly. Another method was also invented using modified E. coli bacteria to achieve the same result. And this was done by adding genes that allowed the fungus or bacteria to also produce 2,2-dimethylbutyrate, which was added to the compound in order to make the required changes. The advantages of this method is that it has a over 99% yield in a single-step reaction, which means that it can be scaled up very easily to an industrial scale due to the fact that the reaction occurs at room temperature under neutral conditions and low pressure. And the other advantages that come with this is that fewer reagents are needed since there are no protecting groups required due to the fact that the enzyme is highly selective towards the desired product. Because of these changes in the reaction, the new method is much more environmentally friendly due to the fact that the reagents used are fairly benign and there are no toxic byproducts and no extreme conditions are required. So this is a very safe and non-toxic reaction.
Green chemistry principles. The byproduct of the reaction, methyl-3-mercaptopropionic acid, is converted back to methyl-3-mercaptopropionate to be used again. Through the use of the biocatalyst LOVE-D with monocolin J gave a yield of 99% or greater, whereas the old methods of direct methylation and hydrolysis gave less than 70%. Because of the one-step nature of using the LOVE-D biocatalyst, many chemical reaction steps are removed, of which used hazardous chemicals such as methyl iodide and N-butyl lithium. These chemical reactions are obsolete when using the catalyst and therefore reduce hazardous materials used. The overall energy requirement of the total reaction is reduced due to the reaction only requiring a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius and is performed at atmospheric pressure. LOVE-D, the biocatalyst used in the reaction, is made from renewable resources, lowering the impact on the environment. Waste that is produced from the reaction is biodegraded in biotreatment facilities as to stop damage to the environment. The byproduct of the reaction, methyl-3-mercaptopropionic acid, is converted back to methyl-3-mercaptopropionate to be used again. By using a biocatalyst, many of the steps are removed. This decreases the amount of solvents required and used, and overall decreases aqueous waste. The use of the biocatalyst LOVE-D overall improves the reaction from monocolin J to simvastatin.
Created using Powtoon.